Once you get like a small taste of success a little bit, or at least like seeing yourself make money kind of out of thin air, it kind of motivates you, kind of makes you want to get more of it.
Hey everyone, I'm very proud to represent our sponsor for this podcast. We're actually located here in Santa Paula inside A+ Branding. They're your one-stop shop for promotional supply products such as t-shirts, custom hats, custom apparels, you name it, they brand it. A+ Branding provides all your promotional needs. They also provide vinyl decals such as stickers. They even did this wall here for me to make sure that this room is branded properly, to make sure that the guests that do come here feels that experience. Make sure to go ahead and check out A+ Branding. You can check them out at their website, aplusbranding.com, and you can go ahead and request a quote from them. Now back to the show. What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode here at Voiced Podcast. You know, I'm all about creating different types of content, highlighting and spotlighting different types of talent in here. So when I bring somebody on, there's usually something that interests me that I feel that can be valuable for the people that I'm looking to serve or who I'm looking to speak to. So speaking of talent and just the overall ambition, I came across somebody through social media and I saw him hustling through it. He owns an agency and curb design agency. I thought that was interesting. I've never seen it. So I'm super excited to have this young man here. It feels weird saying young man because like I feel young and he's like 11 years younger, right?
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 29.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we got Victor Contreras here joining us on the podcast to dive into a little bit about his story, his agency, his services, and just overall like what makes him different. Because I think, Victor, I don't know about you, but like a lot of people coming up, especially getting out of high school, right? They don't know what to do with themselves. They typically follow the traditional path of like just going to school, which there's nothing wrong. I'm not against it. I went to college for myself. However, there's so much opportunity that you can explore. And a lot of people I feel get stuck in this analysis paralysis. So I'd love to join you on this conversation to talk about what made you become bold enough to go about that, right? So welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. So for anybody that's listening out here, let's get into a little bit details about yourself. So, I kind of mentioned about what you do, but for those who are listening to you for the first time, why don't you go ahead and talk about yourself?
Yeah, so I started my career painting business around like 2020. Around there, I was still just doing like the basic designs.
Right.
And I was just doing like black and white, started door knocking. Mm-hmm. And then, even before that, I would sell chips at school, like in my middle school.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so I sold the chips in middle school for like a little while until I got caught by a principal. But then I still kept on going for like another like few weeks, but then I just stopped. And then I did that for a while. And then eventually with my career painting business, I scaled it a little bit, but it was very slowly. Like there was times when I would like slack off on it, or just forget about it, and then eventually I got to work at Little Caesars.
Okay.
So I was there for like a year, or not, like almost a year and a little over a year.
Yeah.
And then I feel like there was at some point where I felt like I was just like the moment I clocked in, I just felt like I had to be doing something else. Like I had to be chasing my dream of like just being my own boss and things like that.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that, Victor. I understand that, once you get out of high school, you're just trying to make some money out of it. Yeah. Are you from around the area?
Yeah, I'm from Oxnard.
Oh, okay, cool. Perfect, man. And then what's like your background, like, just out of curiosity, like, did you grow up here, or like where's your what did your family do?
Yeah, I grew up here and born and raised in Oxnard, and I mean I've been living here my whole life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool, awesome, man. So then as far as like your curve appeal, the business, right? How did you get started with that idea? So
a lot of people think I started off because like Arena's curve appeal. I don't know if you heard of him. He's pretty big. He has like a little over 500,000 followers.
Okay.
So he's pretty big. A lot of people ask me like, oh, you started because of him, but no, it was actually just a YouTube video I saw with my friends, and we just started off doing that, and we charged like $10, $15. So that's
okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So wait. So you started off just basically charging people $10-15?
Yeah, it was just for the black and white though.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. For the black and white, and then and for you, like, how did that evolve as far as like working with businesses or even people's homes?
Yeah, well, at some point, because I relied heavily on like door-to-door sales, and then after a while, like I still remember I met like some guy he owned like multiple businesses, and he was cool. He gave me some advice. Just told me like just started a Facebook account or like an Instagram. Just start getting sales from there. I'm like, all right, I'll try it out. And I tried it out, and then I got a lot of attention from it, especially from locals. It was pretty cool. Like and then I got like a few promotions from like a couple of local pages, like you see like Oxnard USA.
Yeah. That's where I seen you.
Yeah. So then like
that's badass.
So then I saw like the one of my videos got pretty good views. I got like almost 70K views from it. That one got a good amount of attention from locals. So then I got like, I even as far as like someone like saw me in the street. I'm like, oh, I know you. I seen you on my phone.
Oh shit!
So I was like, what?
Yeah,
Like I didn't expect it. It was cool. So then I just went out from there. Just started posting and then like collaborating with a few other local people. Just pretty cool.
Okay, cool. So then I know you said while you were working at Little Caesars, right? Yeah. You were trying to make something for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, where do you think that type of drive or ambition came from? Like, were you influenced by things that you watched, or did you have friends or family that like inspired you to do that? Or
I would say mostly just from I guess like struggle from like growing up, like things like that. Like you kind of maybe like look at other people's lives and be like, how did they even get there? Like that's kind of crazy to see that. Like, why am I living like this and they're living like that?
Gotcha.
Kind of wanting to know.
Like YouTube
yeah,
shit?
a few stuff like that. Mostly like, or something like in person, like maybe like see someone with a really nice car around the street. I'm like, damn, how did they get that?
So curiosity led you to it, right? Okay, cool. Like who are some people that you listen to? I gotta ask.
Maybe Grant Cardone.
Grant Cardone, interesting.
I have his book too. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Or like Robert Kiyosaki. I don't know how to say his last name.
Robert Kiyosaki. That guy was my first book that influenced me to start my entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah.
And that was because when I was getting out of high school, my friend told me, hey, you could start selling your own business. You could start doing your own business. It was a multi-level in marketing at the time. And they gave me that piece of book to start learning. And that's when I started realizing, oh shit, like there's way more to it.
Yeah.
Ever since then, bro, my life has not been the same.
That was actually the first book I actually read too for that, and it was I think I uploaded like a picture of it. I mean, you could put it up.
Gotcha.
It was like me reading it in class, like in the back of the class. It was cool. It was like funny.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then as far as like moving forward with an idea after seeing all these people, like what was it that like made? Because usually a lot of people would have ideas, right?
Yeah.
But they don't have the confidence. What do you think supported you to continue and inspire after that?
I think once you get like a small taste of success a little bit, or at least like seeing yourself make money, like kind of out of thin air, things like that, kind of like it kind of motivates you and kind of makes it like it kind of makes you like want to get more of it. That's I would say that's the main thing.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because I think a lot of people undervalue the progression or insights that you get when you actually do something. It's collecting. For me, I think the best way to really transform, get closer to your goals is that you need to create evidence that what you believe in works. Yeah. Like, for example, right? I started my podcast, bro, from my car because my aspiration at the time was I want to change the world. I want to vocalize shit that actually matters. I hate what the news came up with. Before I even started my agency, that's what I started doing. And as time progressed, I realized, oh shit, my creation matters. Oh shit, I can create more stuff. And I started to realize, damn, I can lean into this thing. It created that sense of that reassurance for me, the evidence to tell me, oh, there is something in here, Yeah. So for you, okay, now when you started your business, right? How has that like pivoted your lifestyle? Because I think one of the misconceptions, or at least for my entrepreneurial journey, bro, like I had friends, right, from my high school. Then I had friends who wanted to get rich, right? So, but the friends that were ambitious, that wanted to go on a different path, in their own way, build their own business, we swayed away from that friendship. Yeah. How would you say that has affected you when you started pivoting towards a different direction? Yeah, I feel like one of the main things I feel like you have to really learn is just kind of how to learn how to deal with a lot of stress. I think that's one of the main things. But then with friends, I feel like a lot of my friends have different paths, which is pretty cool. Like some of them are barbers, some of them are eventually looking to like start a business later on. So, but not like we're not like in the same type of business area. But I mean, they have their own things that are pretty cool. So you did have friends that having their own aspirations instead of just going to college. Again, I'm not here to downside on it, but like, but like doing something on your own that's not as secure, you know, it takes a lot of guts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you for sharing that. And so far, right now, you're still running the 805 curb appeal, right?
Yeah, I do. I kind of more do like part time. I see it more as a hobby, but it's pretty cool like to do because I honestly do it because I like it. I like doing it.
Gotcha. And how do you, explain a little bit of like how your process looks like, so that way people can get to know what kind of a service or, you know, work that you do.
Yeah, so for that, it's mostly on my page. People just like send a message on like on my Instagram or Facebook page, and then they usually just tell me what design they want, things like that. But yeah, nice. I get a lot of sales from like just people see me like doing the curb, and like they give them like either a business card or something. I just tell them what I do, and they're like, "Oh, you could do mine too." I'm like,
yeah. Okay, cool, man. Well, awesome, man. It seems like you're very ambitious for your age, right? Yeah. And you seem like, I mean, dude, you came in here with a freaking suit. Shit, what's up with that? Like,
not
trying to impress me, are you?
No, I like wearing suits. I wear them a couple of times. Like, because my pages, everyone sees me wearing like the work shirts and things like that. But honestly, I do like wearing suits. So I wear them like 3-4 times a week. You
remind me of me, bro. Well, because when I was in sales, I always saw myself dressing up in suits and, you know, just traveling the world and, you know. And it's never died down. I get whenever I get the opportunity to do so. So it's always about that, right? The representation. Yeah, I think one thing is like I don't know, maybe not a lot of people agree with this, but sometimes like what you wear matters a lot while you're like working. Cause for sure.
When I was like, there was a time when like a year ago, I would just like work on like some sweats and like around a t-shirt. I feel like I would feel too comfortable like easily. But then after once I started wearing like either like suits or like maybe even like just jeans while working, it just feels more like it feels like you have to. It just kind of like makes you want to work. That's the best way I can describe it. But yeah, I would say suits is definitely one thing I really like.
That's cool, man. Respect to that. You know, I definitely agree. Like, I think if you can find a way to make yourself mentally feel like you're in work mode, like it definitely gets you in, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. What do you do for fun? Like what keeps you steady? Because I mean, a lot of people, you know, when they start a business, they'll quit 3-6 months later just because they're not getting the results. You know, like how actually before you answer that question, that's something I'm more interested in. Like, what's kept you going in this journey? And you know, I know you said that it was because of the results, but like, what is like how are you scaling your business that gets you motivated to keep doing it?
Well, my motivation mostly, I guess, for my family is like I want to like retire my mom, things like that, or even just like or things to kind of helping or just having like a vision board, things like that in my room, just like having like my goals like on my face like that, just like having that ready. So I could like I'm always looking at it, I always know what I want to do, and just kind of like having a pretty good schedule too, just to like help you organize yourself and stuff like that. But
schedule is definitely a good way to go about it too.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, you know, when I asked you to fill out that form just so that we can have some talking points, you mentioned one of the things that stood out to me is that, you know, you don't want people to see that they could just be limited. I mean, you're obviously taking on different ventures right now. Yeah. Right? Talk to us about your thoughts on that.
So that I feel like, I mean, from like despite my young age, I feel like it was pretty tough because I feel like that was one of my biggest, like, I guess, like downsides. Because like some people either like with my agency, some people didn't want to trust someone who's like my age.
Oh yeah, bro, I've gone there all the time.
Yeah, trust so like with my dental client, it's Omni Dental Specialty. They're really great. I really like working with them. But like I was pretty surprised when I first got them because I mean like I was 17 when I started my agency. And then I wanted to work with them, and it's the same place I go for my braces right now. Oh, okay. So it's like I was their patient before they were my client. So I was like, I was going with them. You had
a better trust, right?
Yeah. So like they were cool. And then I talked to the doctor like, oh, you think I could like, or like who does your marketing? How do you guys get more sales or like more treatment done? And then they're like, we don't have anything right now. And I tried to kind of sell them onto it. I'm like, how old are you? I'm like 17. I'm like, and he's like, you know what? Let's talk when you're 18.
Okay.
So I'm like, so almost every time I went to my appointments, I was very, very persistent. Like I kept telling them if I could get a meeting with the owners. And then eventually they're like, you know what? Okay. And then like they gave me a meeting, and then it was pretty cool. Like I met their whole dental group, which is cool because like a whole group. Then they manage a lot of locations, which is cool. Like I really enjoyed like meeting all of them. I was pretty nervous like meeting them because like
love that.
It was like completely like type of different type of people I've never like met because just the way they handle themselves, and it was pretty cool like meeting them, and then they gave me a chance, and then now I'm handling the marketing.
Okay. Well, going back into the other question what you mentioned.
Yeah.
Like, what is it that you see for yourself that made you, mention, hey, dude, don't limit yourself?
I feel like, I would say just not really like letting your surroundings just decide what you're gonna do. Like, how do I say? It's kind of hard to explain, really, because it's like something you have you kind of just have in yourself sometimes, and it's like how do I say? I'm trying to think of how to say it. Just having that ambition for it, and like wanting not letting like failure be an option when having something like that.
Yeah.
Like even then, like I've had times when like some people were telling me like to quit or things like that because I went a long time like without making any money with the agency.
Yeah. How long did you not make money?
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
So I had, and it was draining my money. I'm like, and people were telling me like you should have just like leave it, like and then just like.
Do you mind if we discuss that and see how we can kind of operationalize that? I usually don't go about it this way.
Yeah.
But coming from my experience running my agency, there's some things that I know that I could have done better.
Yeah.
So within those year, I'm just you're working at Little Caesars, right?
Yeah, at that time.
Okay. So when you were doing that, what action steps did you do to build your dental hygiene agency, right?
Yeah. So through that, it was mostly I was doing cold calls for a while, but then it didn't really work. But
were you doing like 100 a day or something?
Yeah, like around there. But
interesting.
I didn't like doing it. Like they were like it was always like rejection or like people just hanging up. But honestly, it was just not really giving up. Like just kept on going and going, and like I feel like I had a rule for myself that I couldn't quit, and I had like at least my first client.
Yeah.
Because like if I quit and had like no clients, that would have felt pretty bad. So I was just looking for any alternative I had, because when I first started, I wanted to work with landscapers, but then it was okay. I didn't get any clients, but I mean I was getting like meetings and things like that. But then when it was my last resort, my other alternative I had was like to work with dental clients, and then
nice.
I went on from there.
And what do you feel like if I'm asking how many dental hygiene clients do you have right now?
I'm right now, since I'm already winding it down. I don't know if you read a little bit, but I'm winding it down. I'm only have one right now. But at the most, I had 3.
Oh, you had 3 at the time? Okay, yeah. Cool. What do you think that worked that helped you progress towards those acquiring those 3 clients?
Well, most of them were just from the group that I was working with, with Omni Dental. Like, so they own multiple locations. So I was handling a few of them. So
okay. Cool. I'm gonna give you a secret in case you were ever looking to expand your business and have a higher conversion rate, or at least increase the perception of your approach to get a better increase your closing rate. So, if you made it this far, thank you for listening. I'll show you guys my secret that I've allowed me to get in the foot in the door of the right people. It's building a brand. I didn't realize when I was doing my podcast that I was able to get in touch of the right people just because they know me from the podcast. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. I started doing it. And then when I reached out, people were more receptive to me. It's like, oh wow. So then I started taking the same strategy for my clients. I was like, what if we turn your social medias into platform? When I was working at 24 Hour Fitness, bro, we turned ourselves into a platform so that when we reached out to people and collaborate with them to tap into their audience, it was way smoother because they knew that we were doing something, or my clients.
Oh yeah.
And it had a better what'd you say, like even here, right? Like if A+ branding, I'm working with them. I'll give you guys a piece of my strategy. If we didn't have brand, some of the people that we're talking to right now would not work with us because of what we represent, or because what we don't represent, rather, what we don't put out. So when we put more stuff out for ourselves, so for people to know us even more, the perception of liking us increases.
Oh, okay, I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what you're doing now, bro, fucking amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate
You're putting yourself out. You're putting out the work that you need to do. Don't. My biggest piece of advice is, I wish I'd never done this, is do not stop building your brand. Like, yeah, you'll slow down.
Yeah.
You'll slow your rate. But at any point that you get to, bro, keep fucking building your brand. Like, from your age to my age right now, bro. Because I started, like, doing the whole social media thing back in 18. And then I kept going. I started building, like 1,000 followers where Instagram started kind of, was popping. And then I stopped. And then I went back again because I wanted to get into influencer game. But nope, didn't work out for me because I didn't it just didn't feel authentic. But even then, if I had just figured out my direction, and kept building my brand, think maybe, I would have started an agency sooner or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, fuck, bro. Like, there's so much nuggets into that. Okay, so going back into your agency, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, when you're building that agency, and you said you did it for about a year.
Yeah.
Right? What method did you feel that worked best that allowed you to see that, okay, cool, there's something that's going on in here?
Like finding like what problems I have?
Yeah, well, just what worked the best.
Honestly, with the agency, it's all really just sales. Like having like looking like really diving deep and seeing what's wrong with your sales process and things like that. Like what do I need to do more?
What was your sales process and what was
at that time? It was mostly just like I was mostly doing emails and like honestly, now that you brought up like the branding, I think that's one of the things that also didn't like kind of stopped me too. Like I wasn't like I had myself sort of branded, like I had my logo and everything and things like that, but my pages weren't optimized that much and things like that. And then and I would say mostly like also my scripts and things like that they weren't that good. Like they were okay. And, like,
you had a script as far as like your email?
Yeah, but like my email
your cold approach?
Yeah, that too.
Interesting.
So like
do you mind kind of give an example of like how your
it was like
your approach is now?
My now
I rarely do email. Like, I usually do DMs.
Yeah.
Door to door or some referral. Like 60% or 70% of my clients were referrals.
Oh, okay. Well, right now I haven't done any outreach for that because I'm starting a new business pretty soon. So I've been focusing. Almost all my focus has been on that.
Okay.
So that's why I honestly haven't worked on my age. I'm only like I guess I could say maintaining it. Okay. More than like actually looking to scale.
All right. Well, let's pivot a little bit, right? Okay. Since you're obviously swaying away from agency.
Yeah. And
first off, let's start with this. Why?
So I decided this like just last month, but it's because I feel like it's a very saturated area market, and especially what I'm doing too. Like it's like there's millions, like there's hundreds of thousands of people who are already doing what I'm doing, and the business I'm gonna be starting, it's gonna be pretty unique. And it's gonna be a product I'm gonna be designing. Okay. I can't reveal too much about it at the moment.
So would you say that excites you more?
Yeah, that was definitely
cool. Definitely
exciting me more. And then I feel like the time to profit ratio from the agency, at some point I feel like it wasn't gonna be worth it too much. Like or at least in the long run. Like
I'm just curious, how did you come up with that number? That's just out of curiosity.
Like just because I had to put so much time into like outreach and things, and I would have to eventually spend on ads for like new dental clients because I was limited. I couldn't just rely on my client that was like here in Oxnard. I had to like scale into other places. So I was like I would have to spend like money on ads. I mean I could have also done like cold calls, but I mean it's not always.
Have you done door to door?
Oh, but how would I do that if it's like dental owners? What do you mean? Or what are you talking about? Like sending mail?
No, getting in front of them, like in their business.
Oh, I think okay. I did that. No, I didn't. I haven't done that. I thought about it, but
it's an interesting process, bro.
Yeah, I thought about it. And I've tried. No, I haven't tried it, but I feel like with dentists, it's very hard to sell out to them. It's very hard to sell. So I could, but I mean, I think I would have definitely tried it if I was still like looking to optimize it. I would definitely be doing that. But I mean, since right now it's not my priority, I'm not trying it right now.
Makes sense, man. Well, thank you for being transparent about it. Yeah. Because usually I don't go that route and this route because we're usually talking about a specific topic, but I think it's a great topic to point out. Because dude, like you're taking the steps and you don't care. That's the biggest thing. I think a lot of people get attached to ideas. I know I have in the past. Yeah. I want something to work. And you become very delusional about it. But like in reality, you have to factor in what works best for you. But also, you can't be, I think, and maybe this is just something I can share with you as you're building your journey, is a lot of people will tend to say that it didn't work, but they haven't tried everything yet. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
But like if something speaks to you at a louder pace, like I say go for the fuck for it. You know?
Yeah, because I mean the whole
you know what I'm saying?
The whole point of these like my agency and my career opinion. Oh no, I would say mostly my agency. The purpose of my agency was for this next business. So it was like teach me the fundamentals of like of running a business.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Right now we're in the process of building some projects for A+ Branding where I'm helping them out, basically set up verticals and funnels for specific projects that we're coming across. And even though I did not want to go in this route, it's allowing me to touch a different scope of project. Like I literally had to scale back a little bit of some of my services just because this project was more important and where I think we could be in the next few months.
Yeah.
So for you, right, going back into that, the interest in the application of the skill that you can acquire from the agency, right? Let's dive into it a little bit about it, right? Paid ads, right? First of all, how did you even learn about fucking paid ads? Like, the young people like yourself don't fucking look. Hey, how do I get money on?
I think honestly, paid ads is pretty fun to run. Like personally, I think it's pretty fun. Like especially the targeting, I think it's pretty cool. Like
I could see you becoming an e-commerce business owner, and you're probably going through that route, right?
It's somewhat in e-commerce what I'm going to be doing.
I know you can't talk about it, but on the show. But okay,
I would say for that I had a mentor at first.
Oh, okay.
So I got a mentor, but he taught me kind of more like the basics. He was cool. But I definitely think I could have probably done it without him.
Gotcha.
I think I was more like...
Did you pay him?
Yeah, I had to pay him a good amount.
I paid for my mentors.
Yeah.
I paid for coaches. I paid for seminars. There's no shame in that.
Yeah, I'm not too ashamed of it because it did help me. Definitely did help me with a couple of things.
But you do realize, okay, like what I could have learned, I could have learned somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely.
Easier.
Yeah, so with that...
Respect.
Beginning, it was mostly just like learning the basics. But then once I got into like the more the ads are more in depth. Those were like lookalike audiences, like having like detailed targeting, things like that. And like
nice.
I would say the one that I've enjoyed the most is the lookalike audience. Those have been created a really good results, like a lot. Like it almost like increased our conversion rates by a lot. And that's definitely what I would like recommend for anyone watching if they're actually running ads, is to eventually get their lookalike audience ready, especially if you.
And for people we don't have a lot of marketers and in the show, or at least I think so. What can you define what lookalike audiences are? So
basically, it's like you're telling, like Meta or like Facebook and Instagram, you're telling them, look for people who are like these people. Like let's say if you already have like a customer list, like or like let's say you have the phone number and things like, or like their Instagrams, whatever they have, you can import that into like Facebook and Instagram, and then they would just find people that are like them, like their interests and things like that, or like where they live, or things like that, just things like that. And they will look for people who are like that, and then they would just only target those people, which is cool. And you could like you mess around with like the percentage. I usually find pretty good results on like 12 or 13%. And
then how are you using these databases to have Meta find these people to work in your favors?
Right now I'm using for lead forms. Lead forms. Right now lead forms have been really good because I mean it's already on Meta, so you don't have to like import a list or anything.
Right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. And you're saying that the dental hygiene clients that you worked with has been able to leverage these data and acquire better, return on their ads.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Cool, man. I mean, well, as far as like your new business right now that you're venturing off into, would you say you're also kind of taking a step back from 8 to 5 curb appeal?
Yeah, a little bit. I do think I'm probably making this announcement now, but probably pretty soon I'll probably make like a few month break. Maybe it depends on how much time it's gonna consume, but it's definitely gonna take up a lot of my time. Once it's all set up, I have everything running. It's definitely gonna. I could definitely 100% see it turning into something really big, guys, and we're all need like a whole probably have to have like an office and like hire a whole team. So I definitely think it's gonna turn into something big.
Okay.
For sure.
Cool. I mean, there's definitely a lot of potential in there. I mean, you brought this from me, right, to stencil it out.
Yeah.
What would you use to like make the work or artwork? Is that what you call it?
Yeah. I don't call it art personally, just because I don't want to like kind of like name myself an artist. Like I don't like name myself an artist at the moment. But I mean, some people call me an artist.
It's a branding tool.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Some people call me an artist. I don't personally call myself one, but yeah. I would say I use like a Cricut or Cricut. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, you
it's
have
like
bigger versions in here.
Oh,
basically.
yeah.
You'll see them.
Yeah.
I'll show you later.
Yeah. So those, so I use those just to make my stencils, and it was pretty complicated, like learning it and things like that, but it was pretty cool.
Okay, cool, man. Awesome. All right. Well, as far as like everything else you're doing right now, like what are some things you're excited about that you're looking forward to doing for yourself? I mean, you're still such a young age, bro. Like you got a lot of things to do. You know, like what's your voice telling you to do right now, bro?
Honestly, just out doing business, and then I started bulking like since the past year. Like I remember when I first started, like I advertised myself. It was like December. That's when I started my bulk. Right now I've already gained like 40 pounds. I'm getting another 20.
Okay, cool. Hey, man, when I first got out of high school, I started my bulking process too.
Yeah.
I hired a coach.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bro. For 6 weeks, that set up a foundation for me. I was like 115, and I got to like 130, and then now I'm like at 145. I maintain a good amount of muscle mass and body fat percentage. Yeah. But that shit put me in the journey, bro.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing I wish I would have done in the beginning. Just like take it slow, or like build more lean muscle pretty slowly in the beginning too.
Nah, but I was skinny, bro. Like I don't know how you look. I can't tell you in your suit right now, bro.
Yeah, I was when I first ever started like my bulk. I guess my fitness journey. I was like 135. Okay. And then I went to 185. It's kind of a big jump. Nice. Yeah. So I went from there, and then I went down to 160. That was where I started off like in December. So it was like 8 months ago. Right on. And then right now I'm at 200. So yeah, I'm gonna go to 220 and eventually just cut from there.
Cool, man. Awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, with some of the projects you're doing, I mean, can you give a little bit of like insights of like where you're trying to take this?
My projects.
Yeah, like your next business venture.
Well, I'm working on the most I can say is it's gonna be a very unique product. I guess it's gonna be a very unique product, and it's gonna be sort of. I would say it's gonna be almost like an e-commerce, but not really. Okay. Because I won't be selling like clothes or things like that. It would be a product that helps a lot of people. Though. Nice. That's one thing I do know for sure. Okay. It'll help a lot of people, and I've had this idea ever since I started the gym. And then I've asked like a few of my friends, like, you guys think this would help you guys? Right. But I didn't tell them I was making it. I'm like, oh, this was like available. What do you guys like? Do you guys think this would help you? I'm like, yeah, definitely. Okay. So
Cool, man. Well, I'm sure here people listening in the podcast and some people you're connecting to. Yeah, would be excited to see how your journey progresses, right? So as far as on this end, before I transition to kind of closing it out, I mean, do you have anything that's you wanna passionately voice out as far as for yourself?
Honestly, just not give up, and like don't let your surroundings really like decide what you're gonna do. I mean, like a year ago I was working like fast food, and I mean nothing wrong with that. Obviously, yeah, it's cool. Sure. It's like it was cool. Sometimes I saw like look back at it like oh, the memories there were pretty cool. But like I wouldn't go back to it, but I mean, the memories were pretty cool. Cool. And like I was like struggling with the paint business, and then I was struggling with my agency. Yeah. So I'm like, and now I'm here. Like I'm making. It felt pretty good. Like seeing myself make a somewhat big money off like one client. Nice. So it was pretty cool. Like seeing like, oh, that was cool. Like I didn't expect myself to see that.
Yes, I remember when I first got my my 4-digit client. I was like, oh shit, I can charge this much. Definitely, yeah. You know, and I was slowly scaling in, started hiring contractors to help me out with the projects, and I was like, damn, I could make this work.
Yeah, it's a cool feeling to have. Like, dang, like I just created out of nothing. Like, imagine if I didn't talk about that like to them or things like that. But yeah, and then just that. I mean, a year ago I was doing that. Then now I'm here. Like, I'm pretty busy with the curb appeal, and I'm doing pretty good with the agency, and I'm gonna wind it down pretty soon to make my new venture.
Okay. So you have your set clients right now, and you have a couple of customers coming in for curb appeal. Yeah. But ultimately, you're looking to transition into your new company.
Yeah, but honestly, I think I'll do curb appealing. I don't like to stay forever, but I could see myself doing it for like even if
you could scale that shit, and just out of curiosity.
Yeah. Even then, just like even if I was like a millionaire and everything, I would probably still do it. Just because.
But wouldn't it be cool? I mean. If you use that as a branding tool, cool. Then you can charge higher for it because you have a bigger brand. But even then, like, you could probably use that for a lot of content.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think I do have big plans for it too. But I mean, right now, Right now it's more like a side thing, more like a hobby almost. But it's cool because I mean, like the hobby is like doing pretty good.
Nice, love that. Yeah, I definitely think so. I think it's the same thing for me. I mean, I use my podcast as a way to make more content, keep the creative juice flowing, and I get to network with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So cool, man. So usually, my question is gonna be totally opposite from this question I want to ask you, which is usually like, oh, what would you tell your 10-year-old self? But since you're still at a very early age in your life, what would you want to tell your 10-year-old or 10-year older self from now to tell that person?
Probably just to. It's not a hard question. I probably just
right. It's a tricky question, right?
I could think of a lot of things to say.
What do you think? I mean,
I could think of a lot of things. So it'd be like maybe I'd probably just make sure to spend more time with family too, because something that I do. Like I spend too much time working. Something I pay too much.
Same here, bro.
Yeah. So like things like that. Maybe just don't get too carried away with work, even though it's obviously good. Like I don't think happiness comes. I don't think happiness comes from money.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people.
Yeah, so I think I would just tell my future self to have a balanced life. Like don't work all the time too. Like even though I know like most people want to work all the time, but it's like I mean. We're not living to work. Like I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty empty life if you just work for money.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I work with a lot of people that can make a lot of money. They say the same thing. You know, it's funny because right now you're pretty much giving yourself a advice.
Yeah.
What I meant to say was like, if you saw yourself 10 years from now, right? Mm-hmm. What would you tell that person? What do you think you would tell that person?
Like ask them like what do you mean? No. Like, that doesn't make sense.
More so like would you appreciate him? Would you be proud of him? Would you
I think I tell him I'm proud of him. That's definitely one thing I would tell him. Or like give him thanks.
Such an odd question, but I just thought about it. I was like, that would be such an interesting question. Okay, cool. All right, Victor. So for anybody tuning in, right? If they want to connect with you, so for your future projects, maybe just ask a question or connect with you. How can they get a hold of you?
I would say mostly my 805 Career People page. I would say that one, and then if you want to find my personal one, it's right there, my Career People page too. But it's Victor without an O, and then just _TTRS. That's nice. My personal one. If you want to ask like anything, you just want to learn anything or anything.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you for coming here with your suit and tie and talking about your journey. One of the things that I love doing with this thing is when I bring people on, I never, like, they're always in the journey, right? Most people are in the journey. They're never like, okay, this is it. Okay, cool, Charles, thanks for having me in.
Yeah.
No, it's usually because they're in the journey and they have something to represent. I'm looking forward to see what you're going to build in the next 5-10 years. You know?
Yeah.
It's going to be an exciting journey, man.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to have you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Cool. But before I end it off, actually, you're still doing the business here. So I was gonna be like, man, I can't give this to you. But A+ wanted to give you this.
Oh, thanks. That's cool. Yeah, appreciate
some stickers you can give out for your friends. It's die cut stickers that they use a raised UV light. So it's kind of like it's kind of like a bigger format of the Cricut. Is it the Cricut?
I think it's Cricut.
Yeah. So they cut this. They print it out, but also cut it out. But like, there's more things you can do, like more CMYK ink, and they can put UV light, so it creates that like holographic kind of a look. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So shout out A+ Branding. Cool, man. Well, for anybody tuning in, thank you guys for checking out this episode. Again, thank you again, Victor, for coming out. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
All right, thank you.
Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll be doing more episodes like this where we bring on professionals, experts, leaders to voice what they stand for. So if you haven't already, make sure to follow or subscribe so that you can tune in to the next and latest episodes.